Hi, my name is Habiba and welcome to another segment of Habiba's Canadian Journey. Thank you so much for tuning in. If this is your first time, please don't forget to subscribe. It's very easy. Just hit the subscribe button. Today, I'm going to be talking about Ielts. I've tagged this segment, the ABCs of Ielts or Ielts 101. The purpose of this segment is not to bore you with what you already know, but to stress and explain the importance of achieving the maximum points in your IELTS exams or your language proficiency exams. No longer is achieving a band 7, a band 8, 9 or 10 a luxury. Right now it is a necessity. And I'm going to break it down with the points, showing you the difference between getting a band 6, 7, 8, how just 1 point can make or break your application, whether at the federal level or at the provincial level. Okay, I'm also going to stress out the importance if you're coming as a couple, as a married couple, you're coming with your partner or your spouse. I want to stress out the importance of your spouse also taking the language exam. Okay, so that's what we're going to talk about today. Hopefully encourage someone who needs to retake the exam. In one of my segments, I explained how I took the exam 3 times. From the first time I got band 7, second time band 8, and the last time a band 10. So sometimes, you have to keep trying to you get the exact score you want. So let's get started. So IELTS 101. As we all know, coming to Canada, if you're thinking of relocating as a skilled worker, most of the streams available are points-based. You get points for human capital factors such as your age, your work experience, your educational qualifications, okay? Now, let's start at the federal level. I always like to start at the top. At the federal level, there's 1,200 points for grabs, okay? Now, 1,200 points for grabs, different criteria. People say the most important. When they say most important, they mean the part where you get the highest points is the provincial nomination. If you get a provincial nomination, that's 600 points automatically. With 600 points, you are guaranteed an invitation to apply, because 600 points, that's like you've hit the jackpot. Your case is settled. The second most important, that gives you the highest points, is if you're lucky enough to get a job offer, a legitimate job offer from an employer in Canada. You get 200 points. This is also really good because it's going to really boost your points. The third most important, where you can get the highest, where you can get really good points, is the language proficiency exams, where as a single applicant, there's an opportunity to get 160 points. As a married, if you're coming with your spouse, the primary applicant can get 150 points, and the spouse, the supporting spouse or partner, can get 20 points. So there is a lot of points at stake. There's a lot of points for grabs. This is an opportunity. This criteria is an opportunity for you to get as much points as you can. No longer is getting CLB 8 or 9 a luxury. Right now, it is a necessity. The pool is so competitive. The Express Entry pool is so competitive. It's filled with loads of applicants from all over the world that want to come to Canada. Yes, IRCC at the federal level tell you that the minimum to qualify is a band 7. That's when you get 6 in all criteria. So now you need to aim to get at least a 9 or a 10. Someone called me and said they've written the IELTS, but that their spouse has exam phobia, and I said, listen, you really need to hold their hands and explain the importance. There's 20 points here if your spouse agrees to write the exam. Someone might be thinking, but no matter what happens, I'm not going to get an invitation to apply at the express entry level, maybe because your scores are so low, so you're just tuned in your mind for a provincial nomination program. Well, let me shock you, PNPs are getting tougher. Just 2 days ago, Nova Scotia had a labor market draw for I think it was people with a certain NOC. I think it was engineering or some software engineer or something like that. And you meet the criteria, but there was a caveat with the language proficiency. It was for people who had a band 8 and above in either the Ielts or the French exam. So even CLB, even PMPs are getting tougher. Let's use Manitoba, for example. Manitoba, if you meet the criteria, last year, the English, the language proficiency minimum was a band 5, meaning you could apply if you had 4.5 in all the segments. Right now, they've pushed it up to the minimum you can get to meet the criteria is 7, which is almost the same, which is the same actually as the federal level. The same with Ontario. Ontario had a provincial nomination program a couple of days ago, and they were choosing people in the express entry pool that had, I think, 460 and above. It means it's getting tougher. So here, let me show you what's in points, the difference between a band 7, a band 8, and then you see how important it is for you to target, try as much as you can to target the highest band. Let me use myself as an example. I wrote the Ielts 3 times. The first time I wrote it, I got the band 7, 64 points. I wrote it the second time, moved to an 8. I got 88 points, so that was 24 points extra. That was still not enough, and this was 2 years ago. Then studied really hard, and finally I got a 10, 128 points. Now, the difference between these two, a 10 and a 7, is another 64 points. So that's double of this. So right now, if you're sitting here with CLB 7, think where your points are going to go to if you get a CLB 10. You're getting double of this. That's 64 more points. Again, if you're coming with your spouse and your spouse is still undecided, if you encourage them, and even if they make a CLB 7 or 8, that's still some good points to make. I'm going to say this again. The competition is getting really tough, both at the federal level and at the provincial level. With what is going on around the world through talk, a lot of people are looking to move to Canada. No longer can you say, I'm just going to get the minimum requirement, which is a band 7, and just sit down. Trust me, you're going to be sitting in the pool for a very, very long time. If you want to move up, you want to make progress, you need to aim at a band 9 or 10. Band 7 right now is no longer it. It's not it. And if you're coming with your spouse, please and please make them see the importance and the significance of them writing the exam. They shouldn't even look at it like they are the supporting applicant, so they don't need to do well. No. They should look at it like they have the opportunity to get 20 points. I remember 2 years ago when my husband, I was going to write the exam, I told him, you have 20 points. You're getting 20 points for us, 20 goals. Go score. So look at it that way, because right now every point counts. Okay? So if this is you and you need to take the exam, I know it's expensive, but if you want something and if you're yet to take it, whatever is worth doing is worth doing well. Give it your all. It is possible. And good luck with your language proficiency exams. Until next time, do take care.